Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And finally, I am here with this month's, or I should say November's, finished pictures. Usually I get these done either on the last day of the month or the day after, but this week there has just been so much to publish that I have only just finally got around to publishing this. And this is my favorite time of the month. I'll let you know that I have watched everybody's end of the month pictures and they are all stunning and beautiful. I just love looking at others' pictures. It's so inspiring, and I think it really brings the community together when we all get together and do that. So, without further delay, a little bit late, but better than never. These are the pages that I finished in November. And this was probably the last one I did. I've got papers in them all because I've decided to keep my blotting page just in the book. So yeah, on November 30th, this is the one I did. This is the Money Book by Belba Family, color by numbers. And we got ourselves the Money Toad. I'm not sure if it tells us any information about that. There's an index. No. It just says, where are we? Did I cover up the page number? Oh, 25. It just says Lucky Toad with coin. I wonder what country that's from. The coins have holes in them, so I know the Chinese ones did, or do. I don't know. So, it sounds Chinese anyways. Lucky Toad with coin. And that was a fun. I love these Belba books. Now, I'm just going to have to do a little messing around here because I don't quite have enough room to put my finished pages. I move these slightly. Put my drink hopefully off camera. There we go. That works. And that drink. Okay. So another color by number. This month I'd like to thank Dover Publications for sending me 3 of their books to review. And these are all books I would have bought anyways with my own money just because I have to have them. So we have Glorious Gardens color by number by George Tufexis. I've seen a lot of people coloring out of this book. I've done 1 page so far, and that is this one. The roses in here are absolutely wonderful. My tree here was a little bit streaky, so it kind of sticks out there. Oh, I'm supposed to be taking my tabs off. Yeah, so there we go. And looks like we've got the Dover books all in a row. So Elegant Tile Designs by Marty Noble. I have really gotten into doing patterns and design pages. I've just found out that I don't like the ones that have a single repeat and you just keep going over and over and over. I like to have a bit of variety that repeats. And so I really enjoyed doing this one. I can't wait to do more in this book, which will probably have to be in January now because I'm pretty much got the books I'm going to be working in over the Christmas season. And then Celtic Animal Designs, coloring a book by Carrie Buziak. I really like Celtic designs, and I had even though I like this book and I know it's going to be fun to color in, I kind of had a couple of boo-boos with this. This is the first one I did, and unfortunately the colors that I saw in my hand did not work well on paper. It turned out way too dark. I only had 1 light color, and it just never seemed to fit in anywhere. So yeah, I just call that one practice. The next one turned out better, but I was using my Spectrum Noir markers for the first time, and oh my goodness, those things bleed. And so yeah, it's kind of sloppy. But it was fun to color, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, I got to get a little bit more used to those Spectrum Noir markers because I have a lot of them. Okay, well, it looks like we've got all the color by numbers on top here because we're going back to the Velba family, and I did this one right here, which is called, let's get its name, Milo the Jack Russell Terrier. And this is actually depicting the dog in the movie The Mask. There's his mask right there. All the dogs in this book are real life dogs who are famous for one reason or another. And then next we have Velba Family's Christmas and Travel Mosaics. And I did, oh, looks like I just did one in here too. I really like this one, and I really like this book. It is Santas from all over the world, in different settings, doing different things than what we think of him here in North America. Of course, that North American Santa is in here too, but I really like all the foreign stuff. So this is Finnish. This is our Finnish Santa Claus. And I really enjoyed doing that one. And we're still going strong with the color by numbers, but believe me, we will get to lots that weren't. So then, of course, every month I do a double page spread out of Les Grands Classiques, and this is volume 1, and I noticed that I did not do a 2-page spread from it in October. So I hurriedly did my 2 pages in November. So I'm not really too sure who this is. It'll be a movie I haven't seen, obviously. And I'm pretty sure this is the guy from Pocahontas. So they turn out really nice, don't they? I wish they would make books like this for different cartoon series. Like, I would love to see the Hanna-Barbera characters getting a set done. Okay, and we continue on with Woman, and it looks like I did 2 in here. So first of all, there's this one, and I used the X method that Our Colorful World 3 on Instagram invented, if you want to say, or made popular. And she's a wonderful colorist. Colorist that I follow on Instagram. And I'll tell you the truth, I did not like the X method. It took forever to do this picture. You have to do every single square and put an X in it instead of boxing off a whole section and coloring it in. Just taking a sip. So, I mean, it looks okay. It's like, well, it's different, and it's got a look to it. But it looks better from your angle than it does from me. The only thing is they don't show up as bright on camera as they are in real life. But there you go, I gave it a try, and will I do it in the future? Maybe on something smaller. Maybe for some reason my brain will just say, hey, let's give that a go again, just to see if I really don't like it, because that's the way I am. And then there's this one this was done at the beginning of the month, and this is done in traditionally coloring in on grid color by numbers. My only problem I have here is, what is this? At first I thought it was going to be a strap down the back of her neck, but it's the same color as her hair. And I just can't believe that it is her hair, that one strand would hang all the way down there. Her hair's obviously not that long. So, what that is, I don't know. But these turn out really, really lifelike. With the squares being so small, but not too small that they're impossible to do. You really get a lot of detail in these, and when you look at them up close, you can see the pixelation. You need to take a step back and let it all come together, and you can see it on camera as very nice. This even has a clock with a time on it. I think that's brilliant. I'll definitely be working in this one a lot. Okay, here we come, folks. We have got a book that is not a color by number. It is called Danseurs des Quatre Coins du Monde. And in English, that is Dancers from All Corners of the World. This is a Julia Rivers book. Before they became Julia Rivers, they were called Okami books. And I have looked to see if there's an English edition of this, and I can't find one anywhere. So, they are Zentangled dancers. And this is the first one that I did. I think this is a book that I'm just going to start at the beginning and go through, because it's dancers and in different shapes and doing different dances and in different ethnic costume. I think it'll be fun to just go through that book. Oops, more color by numbers. So then I did one out of here, because I try to work in this every month too, and it's going kind of slow. So this is funny, because this was the big color mix-up. I was working at night, and it was dark in my room, and I couldn't really see the colors that well. I thought I was doing good. But anyways, so here we have Lilo, or Lilo, whatever her name is, with green hair. It wasn't until I did, the flowers got done first, and then we started working on the face. And it wasn't until I was halfway done her hair that I realized that I was giving this person green hair. And then the other one came here. And what did I do wrong on this one? Oh, I could have sworn I did something silly on this one too, but if I can't see it, it doesn't really matter, does it? Just having another sip. My mouth is really dry. I have dry mouth syndrome, which means I have to, my mouth doesn't create saliva, and I have to take a special toothpaste and a special mouthwash, and I drink a lot. Not that it doesn't create any, just nowhere near enough. Okay, so anyways, I guess this one turned out alright. So we have a matching pair there. And that's all I did. But I gotta say, I like her with green hair. I mean, why can't she have green hair? And I'm still plugging on with Mystery Colors Pets. This is the first of the Mystery Color books that I came across. So it's volume 2. The only one I missed was Sea Life, which was volume 1. And I only did one in here. And that is, oh no, I did several in here. What am I saying? Okay, so we did the goldfish, the parrot, the mouse. This one got a lot of likes on Instagram, commenting on how real it looked, and that's what I like about these books. And that's as far as I got. Right to the staples, to the middle. This month, of course, I'm not working in that one because Mystery Colors has a Christmas edition out. So we're still going with color by numbers, folks. I am the color by number queen. Okay, so I did this one, and I think it turned out well. There's some pretty jazzy mushrooms there, or toadstools, but otherwise that's a good one. And then this one. So with my first few pictures, it says to use pink for skin, and so we get these like Martian looking children, or they look like they've been outside so long they've turned that color of pink. So from now on, I've decided that I'm going to color skin colors. So I did the 2 out of here. Okay, so next I am bringing you straight coloring. No color by numbers for this one. Here have I got. So in this one, I did this, and I am quite pleased with this. I used my Koh-i-Noor Aquarels watercolor pencils, and it's the first time I used them on a project, and it was the first time I did a background with watercolor pencils. It's a bit splotchy. I should probably have gone over it a second time to straighten it out, but I didn't feel up to that, so I just left it. But the tree and especially the pears turned out how I liked them, and I think it's kind of a funny picture too, because I colored this one sort of like Christmassy, because we've got a bird in a pear tree, so you know, partridge in a pear tree, but this isn't a very safe pear tree because there's 2 cats in it, so I see the humor in that one. Yeah, so that's a picture that I'm quite pleased with, and I'm going to be doing a lot more with the watercolors and trying to in double page books, as I've got a couple of sets of them and I really want to work with them. So next we come to this big book. I don't know if I'll ever finish it, but it is Coloring Mandalas for Meditation by Armelle Troyan, and there's 200 simple, easy mandalas in here. So I like complicated mandalas. That's why I don't love this book, but it is my 3-color book. I use only 3 colors on a page. So I did that one, and I did that one, and then I was bored. So yeah, I'm not going to get it done too fast at that rate. Oh, and I guess I should tell you that the last book was Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle. Okay, so a lot of my books now, the ones that aren't color by numbers, was Color Your Hoard books, and that was the case with Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I did this page, right here, and I was quite pleased with how it turned out too. Just let me try and get more light on the situation here. No, I think I made less. There. It's nighttime, so we're not going to get a lot. So yeah, I used Brute Funer pencil crayons. I used I used a black gel pen, and I used a silver gel pen. Did I use gold one? No. Well, it looks like I used silver and gold gel pens for the stars. And that's it. I'm really pleased with how the smoke from the chimneys turned out. Just using her own lines for guidance and shading, they turned out really nice. So yeah, I have christened this book, finally. Then we go back to color by numbers, and I'm working in Flowers and Mandalas by F. Sinaz Back, and I did this one. I'm pretty sure I did 2 out of here. Nope, just the one. Oh dear. That was a pretty detailed one, I guess. I guess I just wanted to get one in. And I had to stamp it in the middle because there's nowhere else to stamp. So it was Angel Covember, I think it was called, last month, that I can't quite remember who was running the color along. I think it was Lisa at Lisa's Coloring Corner and Kate at Kate's Coloring Heaven. Pretty sure they were running the color along. I had planned to color a lot of her books, but it just didn't work out that way. This may have been the only one I worked in. Or I may have done another one, not sure. So, this is 100 Beautiful Mandalas, and these are all round ones in this book. And this was a Color Your Hoard for me, and that was the first one I did. And that was the second one I did. I just love plain old circle mandalas. Like, I gotta say, you know, you can make your fancy ones, you can make your ones with the pictures in them, and make the ones with pictures around the outside, and yeah, I'll be there if they're good, but this is where my zen comes from, is just diving into one of these. So 2 out of that one. 98 more to go. Okay, and then on to Chibi Girls. So yeah, a couple months ago, I gave myself a challenge to do at least 2 out of this every month, and I only made it to 1 this month. But the book is starting to get a little bit worn, so you can tell I've worked in it. And this is the one I did, and I have to say I was really, really surprised with the love that this one got, not only on Instagram, but in the Facebook groups that I posted it as well. I was not expecting that. I don't know if you can see, but the ice has stickles on it. So, I don't know. If you saw something sparkle, that was it. So yeah, I put stickles on the surface of the ice. That's it. So I really like the stickles, because you'll remember when I hauled them, it wasn't that long ago. It was either last month or the month before. And I really like them, but I can't use them on stuff that shouldn't be sparkly. So I know some people just put glitter all over on everything, but I can't make myself do that. It has to be something that would glitter in real life. And of course, frozen ice glitters in the sun. know that from experience. So yeah, I went over all the black lines in the mountains. I went all over the black lines in the igloos, and I went all over the black lines in this breaking off of the ice thing. I didn't bother to do it with the ones on the ground because the ground would be kind of mucky from walking around on it anyways. Yeah, I got this one done because it's the only winter snow themed picture in the book. Oh, and here it comes. Peeking its head in is another color by number. This one is Disney Babies with Magic Circles. And I did... Okay. Let me find my sticky. I did this one. And I did this one. This was my last speed color. Taking a sip. So yeah, this was the last time I did a speed color. I'm not going to do any more speed colors until January, and I see how things are going. Just in case anyone's interested, I haven't been scanned or flagged on my channel yet, anything. I kind of wish they would, so that I could see where things stood. But, yeah, so far nothing. So, we can hope they went through my channel and decided not to flag anything. If you've been flagged, I'd really be interested in hearing how many of your, like if you're a colorist and have a coloring channel, I'd really be interested in hearing how many of yours got flagged. Now next is probably my most favorite picture that I've ever colored to date. I put quite a bit of time into it, and it turned out wonderfully. This is the Flower Fairies Alphabet Coloring Book, and it's based on the images of let me get her name right because she deserves it. Cicely Mary Barker, and published by Frederick Warren. And I did J is for Jasmine. I used stickles, and I believe it was lavender. I used lavender stickles on her wings. They had already been colored, a color underneath of there. And I did this with, I think I was still using my Koh-i-Noors. So I used my Koh-i-Noor watercolors on everything, except for the person. And then I went over it with, so I used that as a base, except for the background. The background is pure watercolor. And then I went over the flowers and the leaves with, oh goodness, I can't remember. I even forgot to stamp this one. It would either be, I know it's not my Brookfuners because I didn't, I don't like blending with those, but these didn't blend that great. So maybe they were my Brookfuners. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. End of story. And this, and then I did her skin with, very carefully and slowly with a Crayola flesh marker where I rubbed the color onto some plastic and then I used a paintbrush to paint it. So I really like this. I think I'm definitely going to be working in this book again, and I'm definitely going to try this using the watercolor as a base and then coloring over top of it with pencil crayon. Because mostly I'm a marker girl, but I am into watercolor. I did a lot of watercolor when I did my mixed media and journals. I've just didn't know how to bring it into coloring books, and I've been teaching myself that. So this is Color by Numbers Happiness by Arpad Olbny. Well, close. Arpad Olby. And I did 2 of them. I did this one, The Girl in the Sling, and this one of the yacht. So yeah, I'm working through this book in order. It's one I would like to finish. I'd like to finish all my books, heck. And then we did some more watercolor work in this. Oh, but first I'll show you this one. This is a patterned page that I used fine liners for. I have no idea which fine liners I used. Probably a combination of my Stettlers and Stabilos, but now that I have my Ink Onic, Artesa's Ink Onic ones, I will be using those more often. So this is the kind of pattern that I love to do. And then the other picture I did was the first one I used my watercoloring in. So this is all watercolored except for the background, which is chalk pastels. I used my stickles here for the first time, but I didn't really know what I was doing, so I didn't really do it right. Oh, you know what? This I finished on October 30th. So I think this is the one I was working on the day that I did my October finished pages, and I'm adding it into this one. So yeah, her hair was watercolored, but then I went over it a bit with, you know, putting some water on the tip of the pencil and adding in some marks. I think his hair turned out wonderfully for me. For me to get hair like that was great. I hope I remember what I did. His face didn't turn out too well because I was trying to use a marker on it, and yeah, it's a bit splotchy. Hers turned out nice though because it's so fair. So yeah, I'm expanding into double pages. And I'm expanding into watercolors, which is natural for me. But, you know, I'd still say I'm a straight colorist. Yeah, so that's the 2 I did in there. I just love Fabiana Attanasio. I cannot wait to see her mythology book. I don't know which this belongs to. Must have lost its home somewhere. Okay, then every month I try to dabble into this one. Can't remember how many I did. We'll take a look. This one I did, and it's pretty messed up. This is one that I was falling asleep while I was coloring it. Yeah, so then I did another one, and I only had one goof up on there. And then I did this one, and it got a lot. It got a lot of attention on Instagram, because everybody loves owls. And that's a nice big owl right there. And finally I did this one with some good old pink and red. So these are quite simple patterns in this book. That's 100 Magical Patterns, Jade Summer. And then I have been playing, what is her channel's name? The Beauty Crafter? She's Shelley Lewis anyways, and it has Shelley after her name. And she's had a thing going on all this month, I think November and December, which I really hope she continues up, because it has made me color in some books that I never thought I would. So anyways, this is a second-hand book that I got from well, it came from a Value Village, and it is Antique Dolls coloring book. 6 charming scenes of beautiful antique dolls for all ages, the Red Farm Studio. And inside each of the pictures are signed by the artist. Now this is a big book, so I may not get the whole picture on. I'll try my best to get you to see the whole thing. And so I started at the beginning. Let's get a look at what's at the top there. And then I'll rest it down here. So these are signed by Montero. And I never thought, well, I mean, I wanted to color the pictures in this book, but I never really thought that I would, because they're just so big, and could I make them nice? So the paper is, it's got to be watercolor paper because of the way that my watercolors worked on it. My background of the sky and the water is actual watercolor paint. Just some cheap crafters stuff. And it worked beautifully on here. Oh, if you want to know, it's Vicki Boutin. Or Vicki Boutin. She comes, I think she comes from the Ranger line of stuff. Anyway, she put out a set of paints, and I got those way back when. So I did that first, and they turned out really nice. So I did her skin, and it turned out really nice. For her skin, I used chameleons. And then for the rest of the stuff on here, I used Copic markers. I used Bic markers for the butterflies in the 4 corners. I used gold Wink of Stella for the bow and the tie under her hat. And I used some gel pen to do the feather in her hat. So, oh, and I used, I don't know which ones. Oh, actually it feels like Posca. So I used white Posca to outline the clouds. So yeah, I'm quite pleased to have accomplished that. And it makes me feel not so afraid to continue on. Heck, there's only 6 pictures in here. I could easily finish this book if I did one a month or something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to let you see a huge oops. Let me see where I've got this. I don't even know what it's pointing at. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I did a couple of pictures in here. And just get it set up for you. So this is a 2-page spread, actually, sort of. It works as a 2-page spread. And I did this side first, and we'll talk about it in a minute. And then I did this side, and it worked out really nice. I used either my Prismas or my Color Softs. It's hard to tell which. One or the other. Okay, now, this is not the type of thing that we usually show on camera, but I'm going to show it because I'm always honest. Ah! Did she do that? Did she really do that? Yes, I did. This page was so much crap, and the hottest mess I have ever seen come out of my hands that I just blacked it over with paint. And then I went and I thought, well, I'll just stencil on it because I used to be really big into stencils. So what do? I grab a stencil I have never used before, but I like it. So I think, okay, let's put that stencil on. Wrong idea. Oh, it's a terrible stencil. I didn't like it at all. It's got little lines and a space, little lines and a space. So that may have been why I had never used it before. So this page is going to go back to the studio and it's going to get itself blacked out again. And then I'm going to pick some stencils that I have used and that I do like. And I'm going to make something on that page. So yes, there you have it. I actually blacked out a page in World of Flowers. Ugh, it's either that or get a whole new book. And I'm not doing that because I've colored 2 pictures in here that I like. And the other one is this one. And this one I did entirely in water-based markers. It surprised me it came out so well. I wish I knew what I used, but I can't remember. It might have just been my, you know those double-ended brush tip markers that we all got, and they have all sorts of different brands on them, brand names on them. They're just basically generic. I'm pretty sure those are what I used. I used the brush on most parts. Yeah, so that turned out nice. This right here was a mistake. My hand twitched and made one of these marks, if you can see it. And so I just purposely made one on the other side so that it matched. So there we go. Okay, and then I did this as a color in chat because I'd been asked to color out of Millie Murata, and this is what I did on there. So that was just using water-based markers too. They might have been the same ones. And then I colored there was only one snow picture in here, so I decided to color it because I colored the Halloween one in here, and this time I colored the winter picture, and that's what I got on there. Oh, and you know what I used on here? I used, oh hey, they're facing each other. I used, I don't know if you can even still get them. Those Ranger's Distress markers. They're dual-ended brush tip markers, and they're very, very similar to Tombows. And yeah, so I did that. They have one that is a white, and the way it works is if you write on top of color, the white will show up, and that's what I did for putting the snow on the trees. Yeah, this was my first time coloring snow, I think, because I did it quite a bit different than I would now. So yeah, that's that one. These are quick and easy ones to do. And then I had a buddy color with Copic Crazy Colorist, I believe her name is, over on Instagram, and we decided to do this one. I'm not too pleased with how mine turned out. It's too dark. I should have made the backgrounds lighter and left the dark colors for the, oh, just a minute. Whew, my body's hurting sitting in this chair. Okay. Yeah, I should have left the bright colors for the foreground and made all the backgrounds of each section lighter colors, and it would have turned out a lot better. But I used white gel pen to color but to write over the black lines of spider webs and some lines here in the sky. And the way I did my bones was just to draw a line inside the black line, the outline. I drew inside of it, following it around, so that the bones over here too. Other than that, it's straightforward, big intensities. Okay. Oh, there's a lot here. Okay, I have to make it in 15 minutes so I don't have 2 clips. Okay, Calm, color by numbers. I think somebody asked me to color in this, and so I did. I did a color and chat online with this. Oh yeah, and I started with the first one because it's what I usually do with coloring books, and it was a good one to do color and chat with. So yeah, I did this one. It's really pretty. Really turned out nice. Those flowers. And then every month I work in this. I usually do 2. I probably did again. So I don't like this kind. These lines that just whatever. And then this one. This is more my cup of tea. Yeah, so I did the 2. I like that one. I wasn't too crazy of the other one. Then my sister and I had a buddy color, and we did this one. I was really pleased with how she turned out. I'm in the habit now, since I have it, of putting stickles on all fairy wings that come my way. Outlined the paper with white gel pen or Posca. Looks like, oh, I think I used a Sakura Decorez on that. Glitter gel pen for the glasses, and nothing else. This was done in Copic markers. Yes, I use Copic markers in Jade Summer books. I'm not going to be doing any work to be framed in the museum, so I might as well use them in my colorings. Okay, The Beauty of Horror. This is number 1, and this was the first picture I ever did in here, is this one, and I love it. So I used proper watercolors on the background here. I'm pretty sure I used Jane Davenport's, and so since I was doing this one, I colored in the background on it so they'd be the same. And then I just colored her in, and I used, I really can't tell the difference between Coloursoft and Prismas, but I think these are Colorsofts. All that noise you hear is my husband. He has had a bad cough for quite some time now. He's been to the doctors a couple of times, and he just can't seem to get rid of it. So we got 2 more books here, and we've got 2 more minutes. So I'm going to go fast, folks, okay? Color Therapy, no special author. And these are intricate ones. I did 1 in here, and this is the one that I did. I obviously used fine tips of some sort. And finally, the very last one that I did was another Camellia Angelcova, and this is the Autumn book, and it looks like I did the first one. Yes, I did. I did the first one. And this surprisingly got a lot of likes. So, these are Copics. And there you go. Those are my finished pictures for the month of October. And until then, with 1 minute left to go, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!